sweetiest whiskey or the, I don't know, the bristly sprouting, no, the most sprouty tasting gin. Oh dear. Gin's a proper like going to my, I've got some bread, I'll maybe eat some bread.
Bristly sprout.
That's on.
As promised, we are back again with Sarah and Jenny from Pickering's trying their new range of fruity flavoured gins.
First one we're going to try is the apple and elderflower, just in case you're interested.
Oh wow. Really apple, like Sweeties apple. Kind of
Like jelly beans.
So
like
I had Jolly Ranchers, that's what I said. It's a lot of flavours going around the distillery at the moment, so it's to keep up with it, honestly. I think Matt and Marcus are like the most amazing workmen. They see sometimes keeping up with their brain, it's just like a million miles an hour, and you're like, yep, and you've got all this plan, all this organisation, and then there's like, whoa, this idea, and you're like, yeah, let's do that.
Aye, absolutely. But you're right in saying they've got, you'll know from the distillery from when you were there before, there's like the botanical room, which we just kind of like to call Matt and Marcus's playroom, because they'll just go in there and start pulling down pre-distilled botanical bottles and start mixing and go, this tastes great. Like, great, what's it for? And you're like, well, I don't know, but it tastes really nice. You guys are actually like the first people pretty much, I think, outside the company to try these gins. Yeah. So enjoy. If you want to have a little sip of it neat, but this one we are pairing with just your standard Indian tonic as well. So pop in your tonic to make it into a longer serve, and garnishing it with a little bit of lemon.
Yeah, it's a lemon wedge. We're doing
lemon wedge to go with this one.
It's like I said earlier, is to encourage the squeezing.
These gins with the flavours, you know, I mentioned earlier the Angelica root and how that's in the classic Pickerings because it binds the botanicals together. Mm-hmm. The 1947 doesn't have a drying agent, so there's no Angelica root in that to open up the spices, so you get that warmth. Same here with the flavours, so there's no drying agent, there's no Angelica root, because when you add in the botanicals that you want to bring out the flavours, the drying agent in, it would tie that back, but it allows it. So when you said there, you smell it and you taste it, and it's like, whoa, that apple and elderflower, no drying agent, it's just in there to do what it says on the tin.
The whole point of having an actual wedge of lemon is so you can kind of dial down the sweetness in it, because we went for like what we wanted to make was gins to mix with, gin to make fancy, fruity, flavoursome cocktails with, but there are basically gins for mixers. So when you have this with a mixer, we're going to go with tonic water, but when you still have that, it's still quite an not overwhelming sweetness, but it's still quite a like predominantly sweet gin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It does have that like London kind of dry essence in the back of it, and like a nice little sweetness. But when you push a big wedge of lemon into it, it just kind of creates that balance.
But what the flavour gins, they are, as Sarah said, kind of like mixing gins. So this one was tonic, but each one I would say you could make quite a nice spritz cocktail with. Yep. So big fan of a spritz. You can just build it in a glass. You can't really go too far wrong.
It's very fresh, that I really like that. I can totally imagine sitting a nice warm day enjoying that outside with like soda water in a cocktail or just tonics. Nice.
Yeah. So next, I think we'd said we would do the blackberry and hibiscus.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm apprehensive about this one because I don't normally like hibiscus.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's hibiscusy. If I'm honest, it's got nice floral undertones. Like so, with the first one, we use like dried apple peels, and we use elderflower flowers, like dried flowers. And it's like dried hibiscus flowers with this one as well. But it's not like, I don't think it's been steeped for too long that it's just like tastes like potpourri. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's quite nice. It's blackberry because that's the flavour predominant, but it's complemented with the floral hibiscus, and it's just not like blackberry hibiscus. It's like blackberry hibiscus. You know?
Yeah, that smells lovely. It doesn't taste like hibiscus. It just has that little like floral note at the end. Oh no, that's lovely.
Yeah, you can tell that's what it is, but it's not there to be an overpowering flavour for sure.
I was prepared not to like that one. I actually really, really like it.
It's nice, it's not too much. It's got like the berry flavour, but not the sweetness of blackberry.
Yeah, I was going to say it tastes like blackberry chewits, but without the sweetness, like without the sugar.
Blackberry chewits. I'll take a fruit salad gin next.
Oh, what a throwback.
What is to go in this one? I've got it written down somewhere.
Well, I've got Indian tonic and some blackberries and a wee sprig of mint if we're going to feel adventurous.
Oh.
Aye, so good.
Do they all have the same base gin that they use, do you know?
So what you were saying, it was like it's kind of because what I thought he basically just used the red top and the kind of like thingy down the spices and stuff, but he actually just has like a big juniper forward just to keep it being a gin, and then he used lots of like dried peels of like the citrus stuff that he wants to kind of like push forward. Obviously drops down the angelica and the orris root. Did you say, Jenny, about the spice?
Classically, when it comes to gin, they put in the juniper, obviously, for it to be a gin, and then coriander, because coriander is like quite a close spice to that pepperiness that you get from the juniper. Using the different peels, so there's apple peel and elderflower in the apple and elderflower. In this one, he used like the freeze-dried blackberry and used hibiscus as a botanical as well. The botanical lemon myrtle is one, as Matt said, one of his favourite botanicals to use, because lemon myrtle is quite interesting. It's got the natural citrus you'd expect from a herb, obviously, that's a flower that's named lemon myrtle, but at the same time, it's also got a natural sweetness. So when you're trying these gins, there's no added sugar to them and no added sweetness. The lemon myrtle really does help to pull out the natural sweetness of the fruits that have been used in the gins. So, lime and ginger?
Yes. Lime and ginger. This is actually the one that surprised me most when I tried them at the distillery a few weeks ago, because we had a few like 5-litre drums of it just to kind of have as tasters for these kind of things, and they're like, oh, you've not tried them yet, Sarah? So we had it in a semicircle as we do, and got like feedback and stuff before they got like as a bigger run. And like, although it smells like Rose's lime cordial, see when you have it and then you put and then
it does.
We'll talk about a gimlet after. Oh my goodness! But we'll have it with ginger ale. We're gonna have it with ginger ale, but we had it with tonic, light tonic, lemonade, and I like ginger ale in it most. That's why I kind of gone for this serve, just because it's a wee bit point of difference rather than just having tonic. But it just surprised. It was one that surprised me most because I didn't think I was gonna like it, because I was like, it just smells a bit too limey.
It's so limey.
It's very limey. But I love ginger. So I was really happy when they put ginger in. And I think of all the botanicals that Pickering's has as well, ginger marries up really nicely as a spice to use. And there's already obviously lime in the Pickering gin recipe. So just accentuating that, it's very refreshing. It's got more lime peel, obviously, in the actual distillation. And then you've got that ginger note. Again, just giving that lift towards the end so that you're hit combining in with the smell of the lime to begin with that nice lift in the aftertaste where you get the spices from the recipe coming through. Very nice.
That tastes like the lime bit of chocolate limes.
Oh, so that's a very good taste.
Like almost like sherbety lime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sherbet, exactly. Definitely get a sherbety lime. And when you think about how you serve it, so we're going to have it today with a bit of ginger ale. But I think actually from a cocktail side of things, that is your gin mojito in the gin sources. You could add a little bit of mint, and then you've got the lime essence there already. Refreshing, and just pulling out those flavours.
What I said earlier about this gin was it goes really well in a gimlet. So gimlet would just be kind of like a daiquiri. What daiquiris are just rum, lime, sugar, whereas a gimlet is just gin, lime, sugar. Or if you want to go gin, lime cordial, and just a little bit of sugar syrup, but you don't really have to because you've got the cordial in there.
See, like just longer sitting with ginger ale, it's just a really nice rounded flavour. It's really, really flavourful, but not like too intense. Really good.
Yeah, and that's kind of why you would have the lime wheel in there. Aesthetically, it's nicer than a lime slice. You don't really slice. I wouldn't really say you slice lime. You wedge lime. But if you want to have like a nice bit of like harsh citrus in there, you don't want to squeeze it in like you did with your lemon for your apple and elderflower. You add the lime in there, so it kind of just seeps the natural juices into your drink, but not like full on just like squeeze, and then that's all you get for the entire time, because it like when it sits in there, it just kind of develops as it sits. Okay, shall we go on to our last one then?
Raspberry and mint.
Yes.
Okay, so I think we do a wee bit of this just to try it by itself, and then we make probably the easiest cocktail of the night. Right.
Do we need a shaker for the last one as well? Shall I
No,
wash
we're
my
just going to build that in the glass. We're just going to want
Great.
a highball glass if you've got one of those.
I have a jar.
That's fine. That's perfect. Yeah.
A jar will be funky. That's a good idea. Again, kind of like what we said earlier, this one does what it says on the tin. Like that raspberry freshness that you're getting, even just from the smell. They basically take the raspberry and like dry it, because if you dry botanicals, if you dry peel, if you dry the berries, when you put them into the still, it makes it easier for the oils of the peel and from the fruit to come out.
Do you think this one's more like a distilled spirit that you're searching for the flavors in, rather than just like the other ones that are kind of like in your face?
Yeah.
I think so. I think the raspberry taste is quite subtle, I like that one neat. I would actually drink that one neat quite easily.
Yep. Definitely.
Same.
I think it's like quite a nice, like, see, a beginner's martini. Do you think so? Just having that stirred down a little bit of vermouth, like a little coffee Americano, have that little, like, soft fruit sweetness.
I wish, I could just have like a mini version of you, not in a weird way, but like in my living room. So I'd drink something and be like, "Have you tried it in that?" I'm like, "Yeah, do you think I will?" That's what me and Jen always say. Look, you've got like a sad bit of basil kicking around to be like, right,
This is actually the most like colourful my fridge has looked in a really long time.
What are we doing with this, Sarah? What's the cocktail?
Got your jar / highball glass, and you want to grab like 6 to 8 mint leaves. Picky your mint.
1, 2.
And then you want to give it a bit of a slap. So you want to get like a...
Oh. And what does that do? Is that just awakening the smell?
So it kind of releases all the essential oils, all the oils and the leaves.
Oh.
You want to get like...
in your condescending clap here.
So when you want to do your sprig at the end, you want to like really spank your mint stock at the end, so you can actually like have all that, like all your the smells, because like what you smell is like 80% of what you taste. Is that right? So like that's why you smell everything before you taste it, because that starts like all the taste buds and all your senses tingling. Anyway, so you want to do a shot and a half of your raspberry and mint gin on top of your ice.
If we were more prepared, do you think crushed ice would be quite nice for this?
Yeah, no, it would be. It's kind of like a gin mojito in a sense, and kind of like a that in between that and a Collins.
Why?
Even the smell already is reminding me of mojitos.
And then basically, what I wanted to do was just have that as the signature serve. So with the Sicilian lemonade, but don't fill it up fully. Just gonna fill it up like halfway, and then we're gonna pop little raspberries in it.
Oh.
Was I meant to put lemon juice on this?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. Sorry.
That's why we're only going like about like that. Most of the way up, not all the way.
Yep.
Have a spoon.
Which just
So this
looks so
the
good.
signature serve would be like this with raspberries. So I wanted to try that first, and then depending on how you felt, how you like it is how you then develop it. So do you want more sugar syrup in it to make it sweeter? Do you want more lemon juice in it to make it more like citrusy? And that way you can have it as your cocktail that's tailored to you, rather than me telling you how to make what I like. You know?
Got you. Oh, it smells lovely.
It smells amazing.
Oh. I don't tend to have that Sicilian lemonade, but it is quite delicious.
It's really refreshing.
So see if you want to like just slap that against your hand. That'll start awakening it up. And then what I like to do is kind of like see if you get where the sprig starts and the leaves start. You want to take that apart, put it together, and then wrap it.
Oh.
See if we had more ice, it would kind of like sit nicely in there, so it was just kind of normally stick. So it's kind of like up at your nose when you drink.
Wow, cool. These are very good, interesting tips.
Yeah.
That's like proper. It's the difference between like someone who really knows how to make cocktails. Do you know? It's a sensory experience that, and visual.
It is. You like. I mean, you'll drink with your eyes. As soon as you see it, you're like, that's aesthetically pleasing. I'm going to enjoy that. You smell it, and you're like, I've already tasted half of it.
Well, cheers, everybody. This has been a lovely couple of hours to have a wee taste.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much for giving us all these tastings.
Samples and
through them all.
Thanks again to Sarah and Jenny at Pickering's. We had a blast and we learned so much. We hope you enjoyed our video and let us know what you think of Pickering's new range. See you next time. Slange.
This is still being recorded, but it's like, oh, the song. Right, just move everything out of the way. Stay back.